Any diet is a good diet if you can stick to it for a long period of time. I grew up thinking being slim and white is the gold standard of beauty. But as I learned more about the importance of maintaining high muscle mass, my mindset started to shift. Maintaining a good health span became my goal. Still, I was interested in changing my body composition in a slow, sustainable, and fun way while I hit all my other fitness and skills goals. So in mid-2023, I decided to give Slow Carb Diet a try. What is Slow Carb Diet? The Slow Carb Diet is a dietary approach coined by Tim Ferriss that encourages consumption of proteins, non-starchy vegetables and legumes, while avoiding sugars, processed foods and grains. It emphasizes the importance of maintaining steady blood sugar level for sustained energy and weight loss. The truth is, most people can't follow their diet for a long time. Let's think about it. It's only called a diet because it's for short term. If it's a long term, it's called a lifestyle. That's why the rules in the Slow Carb Diet are very simple. Number 1, avoid white carbohydrates or anything that can be white. Some people might have misunderstood this rule as like cauliflower or white beans not allowed, but actually that's not the case. Just white carbohydrates like your white bread, your noodles, your rice, that kind of thing. Number 2, stick to the same few meals over and over again. Number 3, don't drink calories. Number 4, don't eat fruit because of fructose. And number 5, take 1 day off per week and go nuts. I'm going to show you my favorite slow carb dishes in just a second, but let me first tell you how I was able to sustain slow carb diet in my first trial for 5.5 months. Number 1, planning is everything. Apart from my usual meal prep as I go to work and all that, I also plan for my cheat day. That gets me excited and I had something to look forward to. It's also wise to do some damage control on your cheat day, by the way. That's why you have to plan ahead. When you plan, you are more intentional about what you're doing and you will get results. Number 2, I rewrite the stories I told myself. As an Asian, I figured out that I actually would not die if I don't eat rice, don't eat bread or noodles for 6 days a week. It didn't really matter. As Tim Ferriss said, your ancestors probably were not eating blueberries or oranges during winter. You will deal with it. It's not like you need to give up your favorite food forever, but just 6 days a week. I personally can't live without almond croissant and pineapple bun and some other pastries, but only 6 days a week, I deal with that. Number 3, make your cheat day fun. My Google Maps were full of cafes that I flagged for my cheat day adventure. I very much look forward to my cheat days. It was so much fun. There were so many Saturdays I literally could not sleep because I was so excited for the day to come and my food journey. Because if you really think about that, a lot of cultural things and gatherings, stuff like that are all revolving around food. That's why we're actually very emotional when it comes to food. That's why, make it fun. It shouldn't be a burden. By the way, there is no food tracking required in the slow carb diet. You naturally will eat less because it's hard to consume that amount of beans compared to rice given the same calories. And also, prioritize your protein. Protein is more satiating than carbs and fat. I was already on a mission to eating mostly minimally processed food. That's why I quickly normalized eating beans, legumes, good source of protein, and a lot of different kinds of vegetables. Sometimes the days were boring and I thought I needed some variations. But to be honest, we usually just have a few menus that we rotate through the week. On the days I crave for something sweet, I will have a square of dark chocolate. But on most days, I usually would just consume peanut butter, a very healthy scoop of it. The takeaway here is, in order to make your diet sustainable, keep it simple. It's been a fun journey, and to be honest, now I'm making slow carb diet my default way of eating. Now let's talk about some benefits and drawbacks of being on a slow carb diet. The first benefit is it's a slow body recomposition. I didn't have a lot of fat to lose to begin with, but according to my scale and the body scan at the pharmacy, I gained muscle mass and lost a bit of fat. Of course, I paired that with my workout routine, not just about doing slow carb diet. I also noticed my skin got better. I think that's because of the hormones. When you consume a lot of natural foods and beans comparing to simple carbohydrates, my skin just felt it. One of the biggest concerns I hear time and time again is about energy level. Will we have enough energy level when we consume beans instead of white rice or bread? The answer for me is yes. At first, I was just like you. I was very skeptical about my energy level. But don't forget that it's called low carb, not low carb or no carb. You're only substituting your usual bread, pasta, noodles, rice into beans and some other vegetables. And to be honest, at first, as an Asian who grew up eating rice and noodles and bread a lot, the idea of eating beans were not appealing. I vividly remember the first day I got into slow carb diet, I thought I had a fever during midday because I was feeling so dizzy. And then later on, I found out that it's just because I drastically decreased my carb intake. At that time, I only had more protein and vegetables in my meal, but not beans. Since then, I learned my lessons quickly and I added beans and legumes in most of my meals. And later on, I moved on from canned beans to soaking my own dry beans, and I was more creative in my meal prep. I was able to still maintain my workout performance and work performance when I was on the slow carb diet. And I also realized that eating too much bread before my workout didn't make me feel good anyway. So I can now moderate my intake. So I concluded that for me personally, slow carb diet did not really affect my energy level. And the last benefit is now I'm more intuitive when it comes to eating, which is a huge win. Let's talk about some drawbacks of slow carb diet. I'll be really honest here. The slow carb diet might seem a little bit inflexible for some people. From time to time, I felt a bit stressed because my work or social obligations would not align with my diet. For example, for a long period of time, my cheat day was always on Sunday. But then it's hard to meet everyone on that day, right? I could only do so much and eat that much. And the other drawback is sometimes I just got too excited about cheat day. I couldn't sleep on Saturday night. Just like a kid getting excited for their Disney trip next day. It's a good problem to have, I know. So these are my top 5 slow carb diet dishes. If you're a beginner, you might not need to get into that yet. But if you need more variation or ideas or inspiration to brighten up your slow carb diet, here are your inspo. Keep watching. One of my favorite breaky dishes is my fake egg benedict. What I do is I soak the lentils the night before and then I blend them with just a little bit of water and salt, and then I pan fry that, make them small pancakes, and then I layer on top some spinach, tuna and eggs. That's it, 30 grams of protein, no problem. I also like making shakshuka at home from time to time if I crave for something more fancy. We have to be careful with how much tomato you're eating because they're fruit technically, but most of the time you should be fine. So what I do is I add my eggs, my white beans, and maybe some ham or chorizo if I'm up for it, and some natural tomato paste, a little bit of cherry tomatoes, and you can also make your own lentil bread if you're up for it. Here's the recipe. I found it on the Slow Carb Diet Facebook group. So handy, but it's not my favorite at the moment, so up to you. Now let's talk about my favorite meal prep. I've been doing that non-stop every single week. My colleagues would see me. Every week I'm eating the same thing. But as we discussed already, we don't need a lot of variation. Just make it simple and sustainable. So this is my fake IKEA meatball meal prep. I buy turkey mince, I add a little bit of red onion, make them meatball, and then pan fry them. And I soak my own white beans, I boil them, and then I add some butter, salt and pepper, and then I blend them to make them taste like just mashed potatoes. And then I add green peas or asparagus or broccolini. That's it. Looks so easy, right? And it's so tasty. I would highly recommend giving it a try. And my favorite dinner dishes are very simple as well. You pick your protein, and then you can mash your cauliflower or using the same white beans again, and then just add a lot of vegetables. On the days I'm busy, I just use frozen vegetables. It's still fine. My favorite protein is like grass-fed steak or salmon. And I've also tried making a fake GYG burrito bowl. I think you can tell by now how much I love takeaway food. I have my fake IKEA and then fake GYG bowls, but there is a way to be creative and have a healthy twist of your own recipe. You just need to layer lettuce, salsa, your choice of meat, and then some beans, and then maybe a scoop of avocado if you're up for that. Easy. If you've made it this far, thank you. And I'll highly recommend the slow carb diet if you're interested in a slow body recomposition. I'm not a nutritionist or personal trainer, so do your due diligence or consult your GP. I have to say that although the slow carb diet has been out and around for more than 1 decade, it still sounds very new and unconventional for a lot of people. I remember I hired a strength coach last year to work on my handstand and pull up, and then she could not believe that I'm not eating rice or noodles but stick to beans. But anyway, it worked for me and I am getting back to that again. And there are 2 things that I'm gonna do based on my last experience. Number 1, I will focus on plant variety to improve my gut health further, because I don't want to just eat frozen vegetables or the same thing again and again. And I believe that the more colorful your vegetables are, the better for your gut. And the second thing I would do is to do more cheat day damage control, like doing more squats before and after the cheat meals and drink more grapefruit juice. So what are your thoughts on the slow carb diet? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.